Wow, that was cold. Well, hello, my fellow caramellers. How you doing today? I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. It's lovely here in Phoenix, Arizona. Still a little cool. Sun's out. Things going on. But I tell you what, we got a little bit of a different video for you guys here today. We're going to be talking about box art, but my favorite box art. So earlier this week, I got onto the United Scale Automotive Content Creators group, and I put the, what is that, as BJ calls it, you sucky. It's USAC, but with two. Anyways, it's a group that a bunch of us Scale Automotive Content Creators get together, not just YouTubers, but guys that create content on Instagram, on Facebook, on any of the other social media platforms. I just got this idea. I wanted to put the challenge out this coming weekend. Why don't you guys do a piece on your favorite box art? And of course, that includes me. It really is difficult to say what's my favorite box art. I have a lot of them, but there's one in particular, and it has kind of a cool, meaningful story to me that I'm going to share with you. So yes, everyone, it is story time here at the Luka Cee channel here in the Luka Cee studios. And this is just a neat little thing. Every time I look at this kit, it brings me down to this one specific memory that was in my budding days of model car building, and also my ignorance in racing. So without any more delay, let's get into this. Did you expect it to be that one? Maybe. A lot of reasons why this one's my favorite. First of all, just a stunning race car. I really, really love this car when it was running on the track. I love the Thunderbirds. This car has a lot of appeal to me in many reasons, which, yes, you're going to hear a story about that. But a big part of it is this series. I've talked about it before. I have in my collection at least one of every one of these Monogram race car kits. And they had, in the early 80s, the NASCARs, the Pro Stocks, the funny cars. They even did some GTP, IMSA cars. They had whoever this artist, which I believe it's David Lord. This guy, I think, just did the most fantastic artwork, and I loved it when Monogram put his art on the boxes. He did such a beautiful, beautiful job. Hey, my peeps. Listen, I had to break into my own video here. I got to tell you something. So as I'm doing research while I'm editing this, I discovered who David Lord is, and found a great, I wish I would have done this a while ago, because he's recently passed away. He passed away in 2019. I just found a little website here, look at this, talking about him, and it shows some of his great art. So get over there and check that out. This guy was amazing, and no wonder that box art was so incredible, and it's too bad that Monogram didn't continue, because he did all kinds of motorsports art. He was fantastic, but he came from the auto industry. He was a illustrationist for GM and stuff like that. So yeah, go check that out. So yeah, that guy was he was great, man. He did some, like I said, my favorite box art. These were just so captivating when I go to the model shop and I'd see these on the shelves. And back in the day, I would go to my favorite hobby shop, which still exists today. This was back in 1985, and I could go over there and just stand in the model car aisle for hours just looking at kits. And back then, I didn't have a lot of money, and kits were a whopping $8. Man, and then you had to buy glue, and geez, I could spend $10-12 to build a model. Geez, I could only buy a kit, build it, and then maybe go buy another one. I would buy and build. I had no stash, and I had all these kits to pick from. And back then, I never bought these kits. I was very intimidated by the race cars. I was just building muscle cars and my 40 Ford. And this car really stood out to me all the time. I'd look at it and just loved it. But mostly look at it because it'd be on the shelves. I'd look at this version of that box art painting. And boy, oh boy, this thing first of all, just really caught my attention. I didn't know a lot about racing in those days. I was just getting involved in it. I didn't do much with racing while I was a kid, and in high school and stuff. I was more into music. I was playing in local rock bands and stuff by this time. In 1985, I was about 18, 19 years old, just out of high school. That's when I really started building model cars, and I loved muscle cars. But I started going to the drags. I went a couple times and was getting hooked. But I didn't really know how to differentiate race cars and styles of racing, and didn't understand it back then. And this car caught my eye because I would also look at the box art of like the Bill Elliott car and the Wrangler T-Bird. And I thought they were all the same, but this thing looked like it was racing down the track. I pictured it going in circles for some reason. You know, there was a wall here. I don't know what I envisioned it going down the track, but it kind of, I don't know. It looked weird to me. I didn't understand the hood scoop. I didn't really notice other things that definitely this is not a NASCAR. It seems foolish today, but really I couldn't differentiate the difference between a NASCAR and an NHRA Pro Stock car. I thought this thing was going around in circles, and I thought the hood scoop was bizarre, but I loved how it was painted. But as I got into going to racing, stop laughing at me. As I was getting more into racing and understanding stuff, and I went to some drag races and I saw real pro stock cars run, and I saw this one run, and it was beautiful. And what was so beautiful, and you know, I wasn't really going to get into the kit. This isn't about the kit itself. Maybe I'll do it Lucas kits later, but there was something about the colors, and these decals I love because they captured the colors pretty good. There was this, it's kind of a metallic, even in the decals they kind of made them metallic, but it just had these two reds that just looked great on the white. It just was a simple car, but you know, I wish aftermarket decal guys would make this decal set. I really want to build this model very badly. I've got like two of them. I've been trying to hunt one down just to get a couple more sets of decals. If anybody out there has a set of these decals that would like to unload, I'm looking for these decals. I don't really need the kit. I've got plenty of these. I want to build this model, but I need a couple sets of the decals. Anyways, that's my plug for that.
You're watching the Luka Cee channel on YouTube.
When I look at this, it just reminds me of those days going to the hobby shop and just pondering over what kit to buy. And this one I would just go, oh no, I don't want, that's too intimidating. And then I would go buy, you know, AMT 69 Chevelle. Then something really interesting happened. After this car ran, Ricky Smith was the guy who drove this car. So the car got sold off. It was the next year, new sponsors, new car. This car went on to the lower divisions and went into sportsman and super gas racing. And I've often tried to research the life of this car, and I have found a few pictures of it when it was running in super gas. But one day in 1986, probably, I'm with my girlfriend driving down 19th Avenue, actually just down the street from my favorite hobby shop at the time. There was on the corner a little oil changing place, and right at the corner this car was sitting there. Don't know why. It was no promotion. I don't know. There was no anything going on around it. And I hit the brakes and pulled in, and I was amazed when I walked up to the car, and it's like, you know, I'm not a very tall guy, and the roof was like at the center of my chest. This thing was so slammed down, but I recognized the car. I recognized, you know, the painting of it. Pretty sure it was this car, but it was this car or one of the cars or a car that looked like it, and I just lost it. I was just amazed at the car. Looked all over it. It was the first time I ever looked at a Pro Stock up close. Really got to look at it. You know, back then, man, I didn't have a camera. I didn't take pictures. We didn't have our cell phones. How cool that would have been. It's all burned in my memory. But yet, I still didn't buy the kit. I thought about buying the kit. Then all of a sudden the kits were rare, and I didn't start buying these kits till later, and found one of these later on. But that all that really just made it to where this box art was just really my favorite. It just special to me. And look at that. The built up on the box art is really done well. Don't know who the builder was. Hey, if anybody knows the builder, let us know in the descriptions. That was quite a inspiring thing to look at on the side. I just love how that car looked. It really, really saddened me towards the late 80s when Monogram got away from this guy painting the box art. And then they just kind of started putting pictures of the model built on the box. Later on, they got Sam Bass to do some. There was something about this David Lord. That is the most beautiful motorsports paint ever. I really, really think so. This guy just knocked it out of the ballpark. And these still, all of them, but this one in particular, this was the best looking box art ever in our hobby. That's just my opinion. Thank you so much for all your support. You want Teespring stuff, the things down, and then we got the, if you want to be a producer with the Patreon and the thing is down into there. I did my plug into that stuff. We're done with this. Go have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy yourself. Let's forget about all the crap going on. I got a model meeting tonight, so hopefully tomorrow there'll be a video on the model meeting. Model Car Mafia. Not going to be at my house. We're going to BG's house, and we're going to wreak havoc over there, and it'll be all for you to watch all over the world. That's how we roll here. We'll see you later, and remember, what do I always say here? Keep gluing those fingers together and keep cutting that styrene. This is the most ridiculous, and we will see you in the next video. Here's the producers.